Okay, so thank you all for coming. My speech today is called No Child Left Behind, Creating Accountability in Schools. America is a great nation because we are an educated nation. However, educational standards have slipped over the past 100 years, such that America now rates average in the world, according to the OECD's Program for International Student Assessment, a list of 40 nations, including some developing nations. So it is astonishing that we rank only average. And this is because of the poor standard that our education has come to. No Child Left Behind is our way to fight that trend. It is a necessary, though difficult, step towards accountability for educating all of our nation's children. No Child Left Behind was enacted in 2002, and it creates basic but rigorous standards for all schools that accept Title I funding, which is about 58% of all public schools. It aims at creating nearly 100% grade-level competency by 2014. It measures disadvantaged students in groups that also have to conform to the standards that are given to the entire student body. So you can't just have advantaged, like rich, white, middle class, non-foreign, non-disability students doing well and have all the other students do poorly. You have to have all the groups do at least up to a certain standard. It is the first large-scale effort to create a fair, scientifically based standard that schools must meet in order to receive government funding. AYP is a key component of No Child Left Behind. It means acceptable yearly progress, and it must be met by each school. Percentages of who needs to pass the standards testing is set by each state, and it needs to increase by increments until 2014, where they hit 100% competency. So also included in AYP is attendance and graduation rates, and another measure that's determined by the state. And consequences for not meeting AYP include financial sanctions, additional tutoring, and reorganization of the school, even to the point of closing the school. I would like to prove today that No Child Left Behind improves education by holding schools accountable for success, empowering parents in their children's education, and closing the achievement gap between advantaged and disadvantaged students. No Child Left Behind holds schools accountable for success. Success means meeting AYP, acceptable yearly standards, which are strong basic requirements set by the state. AYP is measured by results on statewide standardized testing for each grade level and each group. So again, that means the disadvantaged as well as the advantaged. Consequences for repeatedly not meeting AYP are severe and include financial sanctions, additional tutoring, and reorganization or dismantling of the school. All Title I schools must meet 95% proficiency by 2014. And the OECD PISA, which is an international scoring system for 15-year-olds, matching different countries' 15-year-olds to see how everybody's doing as a whole, shows that American 15-year-olds increased from below average to average among 40 nations in all measured categories from 2003 to 2009. So No Child Left Behind is working, and it's working for both advantaged students as well as advantaged students. The same tools that hold schools accountable for success also serve to provide information for parents and communities about neighborhood schools. In this way, No Child Left Behind empowers parents in children's education. Clear data must be provided on schools' scores versus nationwide scores. This is called the school report card, and so this is provided to students and community members. This is based on the results of the AYP measures, such as test, attendance, and graduation rates. State scores are also compared nationwide, although individual schools are not compared nationwide. Scores in each student group are compared, and data is also provided on teacher qualifications, so you can find out if the teachers that are teaching your students are qualified and what their qualifications are. Schools must provide the state in clear terms. So with all these tools, all parents can help their children get a good education. In fact, No Child Left Behind does provide specific provisions for underprivileged and specific classes. And No Child Left Behind actually helps to close the achievement gap between advantaged and disadvantaged students. We've realized for a while that minority students typically don't do as well as students in the white majority, and the socioeconomic status really affects how you succeed in education. And we considered that that's not fair. for the children that belong to those other classes. And then there's students with disabilities, which No Child Left Behind basically states that children in all categories, including children with mild disabilities, should be able to perform to grade level. So they actually test that and they mandate it. AYP must be met for each group, including low-income students, disability students, students of the minority, and English as a second language students. And it helps teachers identify which students need extra help. And if the school doesn't meet acceptable yearly progress, then it requires that they be given the extra help. This includes tutoring, extra attention from teachers, computer-based learning, and other methods, including that they can choose to change schools if the school is not doing well. And according to the Center on Education Policy, achievement gaps have actually narrowed between advantaged and disadvantaged students since No Child Left Behind was instituted. So that we are actually succeeding in narrowing those achievement gaps, which is a very important part of No Child Left Behind, to ensure that every child gets an education that brings them up to grade level. In conclusion, No Child Left Behind is a visionary step towards equality in schools and accountability to the fair education of all K-12 students. The Act improves education by holding schools accountable for success and implementing strong measures if they don't meet the success, by empowering parents in their children's education, and by closing the achievement gap between advantaged and disadvantaged students. Plans are currently being considered to weaken or dismantle No Child Left Behind. These would serve to undermine progress in equality and accountability. Implementing new systems is tough. We have not held our schools to this kind of standard in the past, and forcing schools to change in this drastic measure is tough. It's difficult to try new things. It's difficult to have these strict measures, but it's necessary in order to ensure that all children get a quality education. So please familiarize yourself at www.gov.edu and education with the plans that are being suggested to reform No Child Left Behind, and ask yourself, is this worth it? Will this invalidate the benefits of No Child Left Behind? A rigorous system is difficult, but it may be the only way to get our schools to conform. So, ask yourself, are these reforms worth dismantling No Child Left Behind? Please don't give up on No Child Left Behind. Thank you.